Oh yeah, that's it. You just tuned in to the Digital Cartridge Podcast with Sean and Micah. Listen up as they deliver you the most epic show covering movies, television, video games, and wrestling. And now, here's Sean and Micah.
What's up, everybody? This is Sean with the Digital Cartridge Podcast.
Hey guys, it's Micah.
And this is not a PC podcast at all. So if you're looking for shit that's right, you've come to the wrong place.
Yeah. We're going to say all kinds of stuff that you probably don't want anybody else to hear.
No, I mean, I don't even want to tell my mom that I've started this podcast because I still want to get Christmas presents.
Oh, see, I tried to do that for a little bit, and then I was like, man, I want them Facebook likes, so I just sent it to everybody.
Oh, let's not start. Let's talk about likes, because there was a secret way how I got some likes, but I think we're gonna have to wait for a second to talk about that part.
Yeah, that's a good little tease. Let's hold off on that for just a little bit.
Just a tidbit. So you want to talk about this battle mania that's going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, we can get into that. Do you want to tell everybody about how we got started first?
Well, if they really want to listen to me talking about me taking a shit and being like, well, let's start up a podcast. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to think up this name and not let anybody else talk about it and be like, yo, Micah, I don't know if you know this yet, but you're now my co-host.
Yeah, so I guess kind of backstory to that, and like, you know, we come from a group of podcasts, like you could almost call it a podcast network, of other people who have their shows. That's where me and you met, was through these shows. So we've got a bunch of mutual friends who all have podcasts, and then I wake up one morning and I'm like, oh, I'm a co-host of a podcast now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, years ago, I was at a wedding for a friend of mine, and he actually had a radio DJ there as the DJ for the place. And he's like, dude, you ever thought about radio? And I was like, dude, first of all, I'm too old for that, because I'm not going to sit in and be like, oh, yeah, I'm the 30-something-year-old guy that's just starting radio. Like, I'm not making $5 an hour and doing everything in the world that they have to do to get up that big. I mean, unless I'm walking in like Howard Stern, it's not happening. And, well, we're here now.
Sunday.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, nobody can see the video, but I do have some midgets wrestling in the back right now. They might be on acid. I don't know.
And why don't you sit on that speaker?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part of that movie.
We'll probably have to cut that little section out.
Nah,
we'll go with it.
Nah.
So we're here now. And if you
has seen that movie.
It's been a minute since I've seen that movie. Oh, Jesus. Like, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is this? And, you know, some time passed and I was like, all right, I'll watch it again. And it became more enjoyable. But you got to, like, walk into it knowing who Howard Stern is, though. Like, if you're just like, watch this movie because I want to watch a movie, you're not going to like it.
No. Yeah, you've got to come prepared for that.
Yeah.
We can talk about a segment that we're going to have. So one of our big things that we've talked about is having reoccurring segments, and just kind of have something that you guys as our listener, you guys and girls as our listeners, know to expect, know to look forward to, know to be able to interact with. So one of the things that I come up with as an idea that to have a lot of interaction is called
Battle Mania.
And what we've done is, if you follow us on Facebook, which is, let me get back to this other screen over here. It's going to be at Digital Cartridge Podcast. And we can talk about how you got all those likes real fast. But we have a poll that we're going to throw up to where whenever we have this Battle Mania, basically we're going to select two songs, and then you guys get to vote on which song you like. The song that wins keeps going. That's our champion. And then the person who loses has to pick a new song, and then you guys vote on which song you like better.
Well, yeah, I kind of put in the cheat code for that one. I don't know if it was a Mortal Kombat blood code or the Konami code, one of the two, but I played it smart. I picked a song that works in the reggae community, and I shared it to a Facebook group, and I was like, hey, like this song. And of course, they're going to like that song versus yours. And it got an insane amount of likes right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you crushed it. So if you go and look right now, it currently sits with 68 votes. Your song, you want to tell everybody what your song was?
My song was Stormtrooper by Pepper.
Which is a good song. And my song was Never Back Down by Hyro the Hero.
Yeah, and honestly, that was the first time I ever heard that song. So, it was something new for me, which I was glad that you even shared that, because it may have been something I would have never even heard off in, the world of Pandora, YouTube, or even, scrolling through Facebook or anywhere.
Yeah, and it's so one of my big things. I listen to satellite radio because I actually pay for it because I don't like commercials. With the way the digital age is now and everything, DVR and whatnot. So I pay that $20 a month for that satellite radio, but they play a lot of shit that doesn't get played, on local stations. And that was one of them that one of the first times I heard, I was like, man, I'm digging this song.
Oh yeah. I remember those times. With my job, I get a lot of company vehicles a lot of times, and they're GMs, and they'll have Sirius or XM radio, and they'll get like 3 free months. And a lot of times I'll just be like, all right, I'm gonna listen to it. But my thing is I hear a lot of repeated stuff constantly, like the same, like 20 songs in a row. And I'm just like, man, I couldn't pay for this, but obviously you like it, but I have a very small listening range on that. I mean, I'll go to like 1 or 2 stations, and some comedy, get some shit up, and then I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I got to hear something a little bit different.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I've got my preset set pretty well, to where I can kind of toggle through, and if I hear a song that I just heard, and then I can cycle through, and they do a pretty good job. I'll stream it at work, so that I'm not going brain dead, just sitting there in silence all day, and you may hear the same song every third hour, every fourth hour, so it's not super bad, but I dig it, but So, like we said, the total is 68 volts. You killed me. I mean, just absolutely fucking smashed me.
Oh, I didn't give you a chance. I went in there with like a shank, like in the hallway. I'm like, you're out, man. I mean, that's simple as that. I mean,
you had 84% of the votes.
Oh yeah. I mean, you think I'm gonna go in like a chump first time around? No. My thing is like, can you? I won't share it again this time. Like that first time, that was cheating. I should, literally be disqualified if we won't talk about it. But I mean, the pudding's, and the proof. I mean, I got the likes.
I mean, it's a win's a win.
Yeah, a win's a win. I mean, you didn't go in with rules. You didn't say. I mean, I went in like it was a cage match. Like no holds barred. I'm talking about I pulled out everything I could.
Fouls count anywhere.
Well, you fell in low count likes.
So Pepper is going to move on. So if you're listening to this, I'll try to drop a poll probably a day or two after this episode releases. And we'll leave that poll active for the next week, probably 7 days, 8 days, something like that. Give enough time to get some votes in before we start to record our next episode. So our champion is going to be Stormtrooper by Pepper. And then my new challenger to your song is going to be the song Lollipop by Framing Hanley. And if you guys don't know who Framing Hanley is, we include the links on that poll to the music videos. But it's the Lil Wayne song Lollipop, but it's the rock version of it. I'm a big rock person. Like, I love rock music.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing the song when it first came out. I was like, oh yeah, I love me some covers. So like this was like, it hit it like nail on the hammer.
And the funny story, 2009, 2010, somewhere in there, I was living in Clarksville, and myself, my brother, and one of my friends went to WWE Raw in Nashville, and we sit like 3 rows behind the announcers, and that song had just dropped, and they sit in the row in front of us. Like, they were up in front of me and like 3 seats over to the left.
That's what's up. The only time I think I've seen ever a rock band like that was I saw Saliva at the strip club, and I was like, oh, these guys, I'm good. I'm gonna keep my distance from them anyway. But I mean, that's me being from Memphis, so I mean, I know they originated around there, and even like I used to work at a nightclub way back then, and some of the people that I worked with were in one of their music videos back then.
Yeah, my biggest thing, like going forward with Battle Mania, like I said, we want to make it a recurring segment. Excuse me. Something that you guys can participate in. But something that has music videos. Like, I want to try to curb like my selections to stuff that has music videos, because I know we're about the same age. Like, I grew up where music videos were the thing. Like MTV, like new music videos dropped every day or every other day or whatever it was. Like, you didn't put out a song without a music video.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you want to make that a rule, even like yours has to have like an actual music video, and not even like a fan made video. It has to be like real production by that artist, you know, and their producer and everything. If you don't make that a rule, we'll go for it, and it'll make the odds even a little bit better.
Yeah, because I like the idea of linking it. You know, to see that. So I'm down with that. And it may make it a little bit harder on us, but that's okay.
No, because honestly, I mean, visuals might even help the song out better, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like anytime you get on YouTube now, everything has its own video, but like you said, it's user created, or it's here's the lyrics to this song so you can read along with it as it's sung.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I need a lyric is when I'm like hearing some mumble rap, like, I'm like, oh, what'd he say? And then you try to rewind it like 5 or 10 times, like, I'm good. I don't even know what the hell it says anymore.
Yeah, no, it's, I think the last time I looked up lyrics was Rap God, whenever Eminem dropped that song.
I don't even think the lyrics, you know, are on there because like, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what he said. I'm pretty good at that. So, I mean, if that's what, we'll make that a new rule. Yeah, your track has to have an actual produced video and not fan made. So that'll be even more interesting, and it might, you know, balance out the wins a little bit because, like I said, I'm not going to cheat this time. We'll let it all go by our natural selection of likes.
If I lose again, I'm selecting a video that's nothing but porn.
I will
win.
We won't have a Facebook anymore. That's what alternate accounts for. And like, I'd love to be able to play the music on here, but there's a thing called copyrights, and we want to make this podcast actually successful and not like, oh, you got that one episode in and that's all y'all ever did because the feds came knocking on your door.
Yeah, we talked about trying to figure out a way to stream it, but no, we're just going to link it for you. So go to the Facebook page and watch the video yourself.
That's awesome, dude. So good luck on this next round.
Yeah, I'm going to be optimistic and say maybe, but I'm not holding my breath.
I don't know, man. Lollipop, you know, you're going to be, you know, bouncing around to two different types of audiences there because, I mean, you're still getting the rap genre and the rock genre at the same time.
Yeah. Like I said, I rewatched the video today and I was like, man, this song still got it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a very iconic song, you know, during that time era. And it's still popular to today. So, I mean, like I said, best of luck. You know, I'm going to walk off with that belt for now.
We should get a belt made. That would be dope.
Well, I mean, are we going to pass it off like literally every other week?
Yeah, just pay the $40 in shipping to send it back and forth.
Oh, man, that's no good. But, man, dude, have you seen that Endgame trailer?
So I know there's a lot of people that try to avoid the trailers, and they're like, no, I want to savor everything. No, fuck that. I want to watch everything.
Man, it's got to bring me, you know, I love it when I can watch a trailer and like get goosebumps and I'm like, oh man, be like, I got to see this. Like, I used to love going on Thursday nights to see opening films, but like back in the day, like when Batman came out and it was 3 hours long, I woke up like mid movie and I'm like, what happened? Be like, this is why I can't go see a 3-hour movie at, you know, 11 o'clock at night. I even saw where they have a 2 a.m. showing. Like, I'm not going to the movies at 2 a.m. and leaving at like 5:30 in the morning. Like, do you leave the movies and go straight to IHOP, or do you go straight to work?
I called the one of the local theaters. So my boss at work was like, why don't you do something nice for everybody since we had a good month last month, and let's take everybody to the movies. I'm like, cool. Like, let's take everybody to go see Avengers. He's like, all right, yeah, just work it out. Give me the ticket. So I call and I'm like, I need 60 tickets. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we'll get you in.
$1 million.
No, he was like, we'll get you in from like 11 to 2. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We'll just, you know, we'll have a early lunch or a late lunch. And he's like, no, that's 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's the only time I can fit all 60 of you in. And I was like, no, thank you.
Be like, yeah, y'all are not going to be open the next day.
No, like, you're on your own. Go watch Avengers on your time, buddy.
Yeah, I actually got I think it's like a 10:50 in the morning showing on Saturday. So I'm like, I will avoid all types of social media and even people that try to call me. Like if you try to call me from Thursday night until Saturday morning, I don't know who the hell you are.
See,
My phone is.
I'm not going to get to go watch until the following weekend, so
Ooh, so
I'm going to have a rough time.
But boy, watching that trailer and watching has got me doped up on some freaking predictions, man. And I don't even know where to start with these, but I'm just gonna throw them in there. Like I've got a handful, and some of them are, you know, I've read off the internet, and I'm like, yes, I'm like, you are hitting a very valid point. And some of them, I'm just, you know, banging off the top of my head, like I'm just like, holy shit, like after all these movies, like 10 plus years of all these movies, I'm like, dude, yes, what I saw was true. And I just know one part of Endgame is how are they going to do this? Like, it's got to be time travel. And my thing is like, I know that Ant-Man, you know, stuck over there in the quantum realm, and there's got to be a way for them to go back and get these stones. And Captain Marvel, she has the ability, you know, for time travel, if I believe correctly. So, I mean, that's one thing going on. But they're going to have to go back, you know, get these stones before Thanos did. And my biggest concern on that is the Soul Stone. You know, like Gamora died, you know, for, you know, so he could get the Soul Stone. And my thing is I think this is where we lose Captain America. I believe that him and Bucky are going to go to where the Red Skull is, and there's going to be like either a showdown or Captain America is going to give his life for the Soul Stone.
See, one of the things that I read, the guy, because they changed in Infinity War, the person that played Red Skull wasn't the same actor.
Oh yeah.
It was one of the guy that played it in the original was the dude from the Matrix.
Oh yeah.
And then this guy that played it in Infinity War was one of the actors off of Walking Dead.
Okay,
but
that's what's up.
Made a comment that it like he was prepared to play the role again. So that kind of makes valid sense. Like they could be bringing Red Skull back for something else for Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way I see them getting that stone, you know, without like some other kind of crazy way. But like I said, this is where Captain America, I predict he's going to die, and the only person to take that throne for that, you know, is Bucky. You know, Bucky Barnes is going to be the new Captain America, just like it was in the comics. They're just taking their own little toll for it. But I think we're going to have to say goodbye, you know, to old Steve Rogers.
And I'm okay with that. I mean, if that's what it comes down to, like at some point, I want it to pay off a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it needs to have some gravitas, some weight to it. Like somebody between him, Iron Man, or Thor. Like those are your original three. Or I guess you can almost throw Hulk into that too. But like somebody needs to eat it and stay dead. Like the fact that they've already started advertising the new Spider-Man movie, so we know Spider-Man's coming back. Like, you know, Spider-Man's really not dead. Kind of takes a little bit out of the sales for me.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, but I don't see Thor, you know, him being a god. Like when that star, you know, he's building the new Stormbringer. Like when they were building that motherfucker, like if that didn't kill him, I mean, I don't know. Without snapping him away, that's the only way I think he's gonna, you know, go bye. I mean, he can go like his daddy did, you know, just off into the dust.
Yeah, that's what I think. Iron Man or Captain America. I mean, I know that's the kind of the common theory, but they're human. They're the two humans.
Oh yeah, I mean, but can you even afford Robert Downey Jr. anymore? I mean, I'm pretty sure half the budget, if not 3/4 of it, was all going to his salary.
Well, the thing too, though, is like you said, they've got in Bucky, they've got a replacement. Like if they kill off Iron Man, who are they going to put in that role?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think, you know, by now Iron Man is pretty self-automated by now. I mean, you don't even need him. Just have all these Iron Mans; they'll do their own little thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What else do you think? You got any other predictions?
Yeah, I think the Hulk is going to be back in full force. I know, you know, back in Infinity War, there was the whole separation. Like Hulk did not want to come out at all. And that's probably because he feels like he's being used, which honestly, you know, Bruce Banner has been using him. He's like, you know, I can't fight this war. Let's just let the Hulk do it. But I really think there's going to be some magic that's involved on this. That's in Hulk's going to become intelligent, and, you know, he'll be able to like come out on his own, do his own thing, and like not be like Hulk smash, like actually know what the fuck's going on and actually do something for once. But I've got more theories way past that. Even like I believe that Hawkeye is a Skrull, and if you haven't seen Captain Marvel, that's a big story about the Skrulls and talking about how they can be anybody. And going way back, you can watch all these movies back and you can watch Hawkeye and like, he's not always there. Like, is his stories always complete? But I could just be like, that's bad acting, or just that's just the role. He was just never super intelligent, but he's like really good at what he does. But like that just goes back into it even more. Like, I think there's even going to be cameos in this movie now that Disney owns literally the whole world. They don't own us yet. I mean, we are for sale. I mean, Disney, if you're listening, my fee is very cheap. So you hear it right now.
Give me that sponsorship.
Oh, you didn't know I'm going to be the next Captain America, bro? That's how it's happening.
I'll be the next captain, whatever they want me to be if they pay us.
Yeah, but since they own everything, I mean, they own all those Fox characters now. So, I mean, who says that was literally the last time we saw Logan? Or what if Deadpool's going to make that cameo, now? But you never know. Now that they own everything, there's the possibilities are, endless. But we won't know until we see the movie, I guess. That 3-hour long movie.
I'm going to take a bucket. I'm going to take a bucket and a catheter into the theater.
Oh, man, I don't even know. I refuse to get up out of this movie. I refuse to. So if I have to piss myself in the theater, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to smuggle in one of those fucking wide mouth Gatorades.
Oh, are you a truck driver now? Because that's all I see on the side of the road after time. I'm like, that's not Gatorade. That is definitely piss in a bottle.
So we've got another segment that we're going to introduce, and we're going to call this segment the water cooler.
Hey, meet me over by the water cooler. So, what's up? I gotta fill you in on what I've been watching. Oh, jeez. This may contain spoilers.
So water cooler is going to be kind of our little, just kind of quick hitter. Just talk about, what kind of movies other than like the big movies like Avengers, where we want to talk about predictions or stuff like that. Like, what have we watched in the last week or two since we've come out? Because I don't think we said how often we were going to drop an episode yet. We can do that later. But just kind of talk about what we've watched, movies, what we've watched on TV, what we're anticipating, what we're looking forward to watching, kind of give each other ideas. Like, I can tell you, like, hey, you need to watch this. You're going to dig it. Like, I know I've had that happen a couple of times where, like, Kyle and Ryan and Sean even was like, no, you really need to watch Barry. And I was like, man, this show sucks.
Where are those guys from? Who are those guys?
So Kyle and Ryan are of the Experience Grind podcast, and Sean and Mitchell are of the Nerdy 30 Thursday podcast. You should check those guys out.
Oh, yes, you should.
But they was all like, oh, no, you got to watch Barry. You got to watch Barry, because this was after season 1 come out. And I was like, man, this show sucks. And then once I got into it, it's really good.
Man, see, like, I saw a little promo for Barry, and it wasn't even really a promo. I was watching some useless videos all over Facebook, and I think it was Barstool Sports, where dude, the Prez, eats pizza every day, and he did one with Henry Winkler, and it was, I guess, around the time that they were promoting Barry, and they're out eating pizza. I think it was in New York even, and that's all I kept talking about was, like, the time it comes on and everything. I was like, I tried watching pieces of it because I loved Dexter. I was like, oh, man, yes. But I got into it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this, but the way I even watch most series these days are, like, I let a season or two build up and then I'll binge it, because if I get into it and I only watch one episode, I'll be like, dude, where's the next one? And then I build myself up and then I forget about it. So if I can't binge it, I'm not going to watch it these days.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the joy of like this generation of having like Netflix and HBO Go and everything else. And like I said, the DVR and that kind of shit, like, it makes it a lot easier for us to consume more media quicker. I don't English very well.
Quickery? You do it more quickery?
More quickery. So I'm just going to run down my list, and then if you want to jump in and like kind of give any thoughts real fast as I hit these. So my first thing is Game of Thrones. Final season.
Dude, I have no interest in that show. Like, I've tried multiple times. I know it's on its final season, but like, my thing is, I never got into like Lord of the Rings. And
right.
People probably like literally saying, oh, I can't listen to you no more. Oh, you can't do Lord of the Rings. Man, it's just not my thing. I did Harry Potter. Maybe it was too fun and upbeat for me. But like Game of Thrones, my thing is if I can't picture myself in that like environment, I just can't do it. Like I don't know if it's that type of fantasy. It's just not my forte. But like, I know some people love it, and like I love seeing how like deep they are into it. But I know like, was it Jon Snow and Winter is Coming? Like I know those lines.
Just from popular media.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and meme central. You know, like golly.
It's good. I'm I'm not like so deep into it like a lot of other people, because I didn't start watching it until after like this past season ended, and then I binged through the entire thing, and probably caught up last summer, and then I've been waiting since then. But I'm not as I'm not as hardcore as a lot of people, but I'm excited for it. I want to see how they wrap it up. I'm always a big fan of the finales of series and how they finish them off. You know, if they do them justice or they shit the bed like Dexter did.
Oh yeah, yeah. That end towards Dexter was like sad. Like you're like, I know that he was going through cancer or whatnot during those times, so there was like some issues with like episodes being on par or not, but like they just got lost, and that's even like kind of like how Breaking Bad got lost. Like I could have given two shits about Frank and his minerals or stones or whatever he kept calling them, but I was just like, dude, are y'all really just drawing me into this? But like Game of Thrones, literally. If I ever get sick and have the flu and can't go to work for like 4 or 5 days, I'll probably binge the whole damn thing. I'll probably love it then. But like knowing that right now, like I'm gonna hear, what happens, through the season, but I'll forget about it by the time I have to watch.
Right. Yeah. For the longest time, I was like, yeah, I'm that guy. I've never seen it, but like once I watched it, I get it. But like I said, I'm not so far into it that everybody's like head over heels with it. It's good, but it's not. I wouldn't rate it up there. And like for me, like Lost is one of my all-time favorite shows. It's not a loss to me, but it's good.
Oh yeah, are you gonna get you some of those Game of Thrones Oreos that I've been seeing all over Facebook?
I thought about picking some up earlier, but I don't like regular Oreos.
Well, I mean, I've seen them on like Facebook Marketplace, even go for like $25 a package, and I'm like, this is scalper, Central. I mean,
shit.
Like I saw a picture that there was a whole like Ford Explorer, and the whole cargo area was filled with it. And I'm just like, golly, I'm like, either you are a fat, miserable person, or you're fixing to make some money, or you're fixing to just have a lot of Oreos for a very, very long time.
There wasn't that many. We were at Walmart earlier, and there was maybe a dozen or so packages left. If I'd known they were selling like that, I would have bought all of them.
And check them. You might just open up your local Craigslist. You might find them all there. I mean, maybe you can, after the first episode drops, be like, man, look, I know you're not getting them back. I mean, and first of all, these ain't no Girl Scout cookies, so just let me have them cookies.
I'm just going to buy regular Oreos and just spray paint the package black.
I mean, that's what pretty much all they did anyway.
Yeah. So another show I hit on real quick for me is Survivor. I know it's a reality show, but I've watched every season. It's one of the first shows that I can remember like coming home to watch and anticipating watching. Like I'm a big series person. I watch a lot of TV, and
I know
it's one of the first shows that I can remember like, oh man, Survivor's tonight. Like, and I almost feel like it's peaked at this point. It's on like season 37 or 38 or some shit.
I was actually unaware that people still watch that even.
Oh, it's still got a huge following. Like,
and
if it wasn't for the fact that all they eat is rice and like fish, I would love to go on in a heartbeat, just for the simple fact like that I've consumed so much of that show that I feel like I could go on there and do good. But I don't eat anything that comes out of water. That's something like, that's just one of my things. Like it just, and B, I couldn't be away for that long. Like, so their rules are, this new season they changed them, but rules for the past 37 seasons or whatever it is like they have it split. Like you either make it day 1 when you get there to day whatever they call the merge, day 15, day 16, somewhere usually in there. If you're voted off before then, you're sent back, but you're not allowed to talk about anything obviously until the show airs. But if you make the merge, you stay on the island even if you get voted off, because then you're in the jury, so you're still part of the tribal councils and everything else. So you're giving up a month and a half, if you do decently well. And like not only could I not afford to take a month and a half off, but I couldn't be away from everybody for that long. Like, I know they get paid for being on the show. Like, everybody gets a check for being on the show, but I don't know. I couldn't be away for that long.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that was on a similar show to Survivor like that. Where they're up in Alaska. He actually worked with me at my job, and like everybody was like, "Man, did you know he's quitting?" I'm like, "What?" And then he's like, "He's going to do this Survivor like show where they're up in Alaska," and I think it was season 3 that he was on. And I know he made like $20,000 or some crazy, not a lot of money that you would make for a yearly salary at most jobs, but I know he did pretty good on it. I'll have to touch base with him on that and even see like how close it is to like the actual Survivor too. Maybe if I'm lucky, we can become a guest host on a show or something, because I'd like to hear about it. Because Survivor's always been something that interests me, but like there's no way in hell that I'm gonna do it. Like I like hiking, and I'll do like maybe up to like 11 miles a day sometimes, some stuff, but like going out and doing all that, like I couldn't imagine it. Like be like, is there internet out here? Yeah. Is there running water with a toilet? No, I'm good. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, like I need to go wipe my ass with leaves. No, thank you.
Be like, you don't have wet wipes out here? Yeah. I'm a basic bitch.
Can someone get a hold of Hello Tushy and get me a bidet?
Oh man, that's Survivor though, man. Yeah, I remember when it came out, because like if you're deep into it, like I used to be with like Big Brother. My mom would every Sunday, like she would cook us dinner. With all me and my brothers and sister would go over there and watch Big Brother with her, and that was our thing. So I mean, I understand like being like deep into shows like that. Like I even remember way back when Smallville was around, like Thursdays when that premiered, like you couldn't get a hold of me for that whole hour. Like there was no, I would turn off all forms of existence and be like, that is my Smallville time for the world.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me. I'm like I said, TV's my thing. Like, and talk about, the train wreck shows that I still watch. Grey's Anatomy. Ashley got me hooked on that. Like, it's just a train wreck of a show, and it's so predictable. But god damn it, I watch every sec. Sorry, that's not PC. We're not a PC podcast. It's one of those things where you sit there and you're like, this is sad, and I'm still watching it. And Walking Dead, I mean, I've read all the Walking Dead books, but it's kind of that way too. Like it's predictable to me because I've read the books, but it's just like, why am I still watching this? And but I continue to consume it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it didn't stay true to the books, I mean, there are parts that did, and there's a lot of parts that didn't. I mean, you can't make any movie or show, stay true to a book ever. I mean, it would never work out that way. But yeah, I haven't watched the last season walking up to this Walking Dead. There was a time frame where I was moving from a couple states over to where I'm at now, and that was like during a lot of the show, and I was like, I can't watch it. And I've luckily stayed away from a bunch of the spoilers on it. I know a little bit, that went on, but I was one of those people like every Sunday watch, and but it's one of those shows, like I said, if I watch it deep like that during those like fall breaks, like I'm going insane. Like I don't want to pick up nothing new, but like I got to know what's happening, and that's when you like kind of even become like disinterested for a little bit. And you're like, oh yeah, now they're coming back around January-ish, late January, early February, but now I got to rewatch, last couple episodes to figure out where I'm at. But Walking Dead, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and it's the spinoffs. It's got Fear the Walking Dead now, and then they're talking about doing another one, and then they're going to have movies. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe I'll get re-interested in when they start doing stories. Like, I like Fear the Walking Dead because I don't know what's going to happen. But like,
yeah,
with Walking Dead, they still hit on a lot. Like, I knew the spoilers, the Whispers. I knew the Whispers were coming because it's a huge storyline. Like, and so I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, we're going to get to this point somehow. Like, I almost want to stop reading the books if I'm going to continue watching the show.
Oh yeah, and luckily, I know people that have read the books. I never read the books. When I read, I'm like skimming like so far ahead. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to go back and actually read this. Like, that's not how I do it. Like, I guess I read so many manuals at work. I'm like looking for like the key points I'm looking for. And so when I read a book, I'm like, my ADD is like, nah, this ain't gonna happen, fam.
Can we put this up yet?
Like,
go ahead.
Oh man, I was gonna tell you, man. Like, I've been watching a couple shows like back to back, and it's usually like these short TV shows like Superstore. I used to work retail, so a lot of this like fits in and like Angelica, my significant other, she works in retail, so like she loves that show as well. And like I watch these and I'm like, dude, I can relate to a lot of this. And my retail, I'll tell y'all, I'm not really embarrassed about it, is I worked at Babies R Us right when I was still in high school. And I loved it because my thing is I was a young 16-year-old kid and I just knew that every woman that come in there, she was fucking. And so I was like, why not work here? This is great. But and I also watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Man, I love that show. I had no interest in it in the beginning, but like I had nothing else to watch, and I was like, all right, I hear about it. I keep seeing promotions for it on Hulu. I ended up with some Black Friday deal where I only paid 99 cents a month for Hulu. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch a hell of a lot more TV than I used to. And now I'm up to that point, like every week, I'm like, all right, what's coming out? I gotta watch it. And because Andy Samberg, that dude is a genius with some comedy. Some people might not like him, but I think that dude is a freaking genius with the comedy lines that he does.
I've never saw either of those. I've heard of Superstore. Of course, I've heard of Brooklyn 999 too, but or 911, 999, 911.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm just not. I'm not big on because they're both like little 30-minute sitcoms, right?
Yeah, because I mean, from my understanding, catch me if I'm wrong, you have no interest for The Office, am I correct?
Negative.
Yeah, see, like, I love The Office. I love Parks and Recs. How about that?
Never saw that either.
Man, see, you like those hour-long shows, and I'm in like, give me these 22, 30-minute ones that I can play in the background and catch back up and watch season after repeat after repeat after repeat, and it never gets old for me because I'm always hearing up for these new comedy lines. I guess I'm so sarcastic at times with such a jackass. I get to use these lines all the time.
The only real 30-minute sitcom that I liked, and they fucking canceled it, was Last Man on Earth.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. It started off really good and kind of got like a little like dry, and then it picked back up, and then got dry again. And that was the roller coaster ride that show had, like nonstop though.
Yeah, I know it got saved a couple of times, and it was so stupid. It was funny.
Yeah, that's one of those things though. Like I think it came out in the dry area of Walking Dead, and it trying to bring up that whole, you're the only ones around type of deal. But I felt like that was almost like a dry area for even writing during that time.
Well, and the thing with it that kind of got me, and it was pitched as Last Man on Earth, and then you had all these other people that conveniently showed up, but they never talked about, and this could have been because it got canceled. They never told you why everybody was dead. Like all they said was everybody got sick. Like,
I never even got that far.
And it could be because, like you said, like I'm into the hour dramas and that kind of shit. Like I want some story. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, you have some of those shows that it's continuation of story. I mean, episode after episode. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like you like that one continuous drawn out episode, not where it's picking up frame after frame and different little side stories here and there.
So some of the other shows, just a quick hit them that I've been kind of watching. Of course, I'm big on like the DC shows that come on CW. So Flash, Arrow, all that stuff. Bummed out I'm sorry. Arrow is going to be in its last season next season. That kind of sucks. I just finished season 2 of the OA on Netflix. If you're big into kind of mind warping, time travel type stuff, that's a really good series to get into. Season 2, like the last episode of season 2, like literally blew my mind.
I haven't even watched a single episode of it, or I mean, I really don't even know what it's about, so I'm gonna have to look into it, and I'm sure we'll leave that in some show notes because I'm curious now.
Yeah, it's really good. It's basically, I don't even want to ruin it if you're going to watch it. Like it's
really?
worth.
I mean,
it's
really
worth
for me.
So basically, this girl ends up telling the story of how she was kidnapped and she got away, but it spins into a tale of how it's a multiverse and they can transfer from like Earth to Earth, but they stay within the same body, kind of, but they take on the different personalities. Like, so say you're like, how like if you're walking down the road and you've got 2 paths to choose and you chose the one on the right, well, multiverse Earth B might be if you went left, and then from there if you went left to right again, and like so it a lot of branching path type deals, but it's really good.
I like a good mind fuck like that.
Yeah, it'll get you.
No,
Santa Clarita Diet is another one of those little 30-minute sitcom ones that I actually like just because of the people that's in it. Because you've got Drew Barrymore, and then oh shit, who's the guy that plays the husband? He was the dude that played what was the TV show where he was the sheriff in Kentucky? You know what I'm talking about?
Actually, I don't know.
Played
Hold on.
Timothy Oliphant. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He played the first Hitman in the Hitman movie.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So he plays the husband, and then Drew Barrymore. It's a comedy spin on she ends up becoming like a zombie. So it's pretty good. And season 3 of it just dropped, and then we're going into the last half of season 3, which will be their final season of Into the Badlands. And if you like martial arts and like fighting shows and fighting movies and stuff, that is a killer show to watch.
Man, when I was growing up, this guy that rode the bus with me, he was big into some kind of martial arts, and I don't know what part of that read into, like, years down the road, somebody saw me like, "Hey man, you still into martial arts?" I'm like, "That's not me. That was so and so." But I'm like, I just had to like continue to bullshit, be like, "Yeah, man, I'm blah 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 now," and I'm like, "I'm glad you think I'm this other dude." I'm like, thanks for not being memorable, Sean, because you're not.
Check out my black belt, homie.
Yeah, I think the most I know is like some capoeira from some old movies back in the day. I think that was Only the Strong.
I know Kung Fu from Ninja Turtles.
Oh, man. We're both going to get our ass kicked in the alley one day.
So, you got anything else you want a water cooler? You want to talk about TVs?
Nah, man, I'm good on that. Like, man, I got so much catching up to just from what you talked about. Like, I'm like, I want to watch this now. You know, I'm like, so the OA, I'm gonna have to figure out what that's about.
Yeah, it's worth binging for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to definitely look into it. I'm sure I'll have some free time coming up soon for that. But we haven't even told anybody about what this episode's even about.
Yeah,
like our main subject.
I mean, I guess if they can read the episode post, they should know.
Oh yeah, I mean, so we're going to talk about Modern Warfare Remastered, which was the PSN game of the month for March. It was free, so if you had PlayStation Plus, you could download this for free.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. I know, like, I was a huge Xbox person, and like Xbox does it too, but like, I love the fact that I get free games now.
Oh yeah, I mean, like on the Sony Xbox thing, like I didn't have trust in Xbox off the bat. Like I felt it was, Sega was in their dying ages, and then walking up to that is like, hey, we're Xbox, we're Microsoft, we're Xbox. I'm like, yeah, we know who you are, but like Sony is over here with a throne. They're already on their second console, and you're trying to pop in your first one. And I remember I had a modded Xbox 360, and when this game came out, I had a copy of this before, like, it even was released. So I'm going to a friend's house. I'm like, dude, check this out. I've got Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. And they're like, bullshit. And we're sitting there playing it. We're blown out of our minds. So, going to the future, they remastered this game because it was so freaking excellent. Like, there's so many awards given with this single game is like, best of this, best of that, best of that. And it's remastered. It's on your PS4. You get to better graphics, better gameplay. But the bad thing is like this game is better to me than Black Ops 4 is right now. Like I think the way this game plays is the way they should all play true to now.
Yeah, it's one of those things like for me, of course the nostalgia is there, but it was when Call of Duty wasn't so heavy-handed on having all the different perks and having all the different, like, of course there's perks, don't get me wrong, but like when I play the newest one, I'm like, holy shit, I've got to have an attachment to a perk, to this, to that, and I've got to find a perk machine, and like, I'm going to run over here, and I'm like, I just want to shoot somebody.
Oh, well, in these newer ones, you can jump to the freaking moon and back if you wanted to, and like walk up walls. I'm like, listen, let's be realistic here. I'm like, who do you know is literally moonwalking up a wall and, shooting you around three corners? That shit ain't happening. I was like, this ain't even fun no more.
No,
this game.
it's not overwhelming. Like, you've got so many different choices in some of the newer ones, and this one, it's not overwhelming to me. And it, like I said, it could be from a nostalgia standpoint, just to be able to jump back into it and having played the original, but you don't have a lot to choose from, but it makes it
Well, I
more
mean,
simple.
it's basic. I mean, it's like real life stuff. Like in that era when it came out, you're getting to play the guns. There's no futuristic bullshit with this one, and that's what I think even holds like even a closer part to my heart. Is this is like almost like a real life shooter almost. You know, I don't want to put real life video games in the same subject, but like if I'm picking up this gun, yes, this gun is readily available. Like this is awesome. Like I can relate to this game. Like you're gonna give me some space rifle. Like I don't know what the fuck that is. I mean, I know what an M4 is. I know what a Glock, 19 is. I know what a Desert Eagle. I know what a rocket launcher is. But this game was true to all of that. And picking up this game, though, in today's age, I still felt like a noob. Like putting in this game, playing some multiplayer, starting with a rank of 0. Like I've played this game. I've prestiged before. And now I'm like, I get to start again. I got to remember, what these maps were, where to hide, what the guns were. What perks to put on you for, what kind of missions and whatnot. But like I said, I walked into this feeling like a noob again. And that kind of felt good in a way. Like this game didn't feel old and used and washed up. Like it felt like putting it in for the first time ever.
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those things. Like I immediately jumped into campaign mode just to try to get feel for it again. And like I forgot about some of the levels. Like it's got one of the most memorable campaigns for me. Like, and I've been playing through. I ran through it on easy just to to get familiar with it again, and then I went back and upped the difficulty so I could go through. But I love how it starts on campaign and it gives you like the little trial area, and like based off of how you do in the little trial area, it says this is the difficulty you should play at. So the better you are in that trial area, the more accessible the other modes are. So if you kill it, it's like, yeah, you should probably go at it on hardened or on veteran or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah, and then you get slayed everywhere, and you're like, yeah, I should have picked easy.
yeah, I'm playing through now on hardened, and I have to be careful and like actually take my time on levels instead of just spraying and praying.
Oh, yeah, and that's what's ruined me on a lot of these games. Like Call of Duty has turned me into a running gunner. Like I used to love being tactical, and this game ruined a lot of that for me, but I'm okay with it. Like, you get to respawn. You're like, sometimes you just need to respawn and literally put your finger on the trigger and just, just spray and go. And especially in games like some of these online maps, like Shipment, if you've got like more than 5 people in there, it's mayhem. And I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to run around with a freaking RPG or a rocket launcher and just, blow you up everywhere. I mean, because unless you got, like some Uzis and stuff, you're not going to get the kills. I mean, everybody's dying. You might luck out and get a helicopter, but like, and then if you get that helicopter on that map and all, you're gonna decimate all.
It's got like probably one of the most memorable missions for me with the sniping mission. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Like in campaign mode?
Oh, you're gonna have to refresh me on that one. I wanted to start up on this campaign so bad, but like between like setting up this podcast and like real life scenarios, like I wasn't able to.
So there is one mission where the whole game you're following around what's the Captain Price guy, and then at one point it flashes back to where you play as Price, and then you go through and you're basically sneaking into the enemy base for the assassination attempt. And so you're going through and just the entire level is nothing but snipes. Like you're going through and sniping people the entire time. Like,
yeah, I vaguely remember a lot of that.
Because you end up at the end of the level, you climb up to the tower and you have to take in the wind trajectory and all that stuff to try to shoot the dude.
Yeah, actually, I remember a lot of this because my bad thing is like with this game and Modern Warfare 2, like a lot of it like falls like in the same memory bank, but I know exactly which part you're talking about now.
Yeah, it's like when I play a sniping like any kind of game or pick up a sniper rifle, like I always think of that level just because I remember going through that level the first time and I'm like, this is so badass. Like I wonder if this is what it's really like to be a sniper.
Well, I know I suck at sniping in the game, and but that part is probably like one of the one times like it lets you be really good.
Mhm.
The only way I'm really able to snipe somebody is if like I'm sitting there and I'm like timing it out. But a lot of time it's just like quick scope. Like if I'm running, I'm just like pow. I'm like, did I get the kill? I lucked out. That was a fortune cookie.
Yeah, and like I said, to me it fits like an old glove. You know, it's not like one of them OJ Simpson gloves where the glove won't fit. Like you can just slide into it and it feels good. I mean, it's like, damn, I miss this game. And I know like we all downloaded it, like our little group that plays together, and we're like, fuck, this is fun. Like we just basically abandoned like any other games that we were playing, and we were like, nope, we're gonna play Modern Warfare now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like it brought me, like I think it brought even a lot of us closer, and even made some of us like hate the way other people play because, we were doing these private matches, and some of them, like I was going to destroy everybody. Like there was some of these gun games that we started playing, which is a mode where every time you shoot and kill somebody, you get a different gun, and if you get knifed, you get set back anywhere from 1 to 3 spots, and I was like, I'm not getting that far, so I'm just gonna go around knifing everybody, and that was my object. Every time we started up one of these games, I'm trying to set everybody back. I want you to become at the beginning because, like I said, I suck at sniping, and I'm getting these sniper rifles, and I'm sitting in the same rank for like 10 minutes, and after that, I'm just like, all right, y'all are all gonna start back and get these sniper rifles with me, or I'm gonna try my hardest to just literally just slash and gas everybody.
Well, and it's fun too, like playing through the campaign. Like a lot of those maps are ripped directly from campaign mode. Like, so you'll have like on the newer stuff, there's maps that aren't necessarily in campaign. Like you'll see elements of them, but like playing back through campaign just reminded me like the exact layout. Like I was playing today on the bog in campaign, and there's a part of the mission where you go through that exact layout of the level of bog that's in multiplayer, like with the bus in the middle of it and the down tank on the one side and the little shops over on the left hand side, and like it's the exact layout. And I'm like, these dudes are really smart and they didn't waste time. Like they just transfer stuff over, but it works. Like it's fun.
Man, I'm glad you started talking about bog because that hands down. I was going to ask you what your favorite map was, and that is my favorite map. I don't care now with remastered. They changed it like it can be daytime or nighttime. That map's just a good all around map.
It's my favorite map for the other mode that we play a lot of, the prop game mode.
Oh, you just like to be in a little trash can, don't you?
Mm-hmm, or the little sand bucket.
Oh man, the worst thing about that mode, that prop game, and this is where like it's 2 teams, like literally you are props. You can be a freaking garbage can, a dumpster, a blown up car, a watermelon, sandbags, all kinds of just random things that you see in this map. And the other team, they're actually, real people. They're going around shooting, trying to like kill you in these things. And that's a fun mode. I
It's
like it when like
a fun hide and seek like that. I think that's the best. I think Mitchell or Sean one described it when they were talking about it as hide and seek, and I think that's the best description of it that I've heard. Is it reminds me a whole lot of hide and seek. Like one team, the team that is the props are the hiders, and the team that stays as the PCs and have the guns that you're going around shooting are the seekers. I mean, that's essentially what the mode is.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I love like when the seekers are coming close to you, just like not even standing still, like throwing a flashbang, because you can throw a flashbang to like kind of throw them off where they can't find you, and either change it into another prop, because you can change up into 3 different things, and every time that you change, you get a new flashbang. So if you're in prop 1, flash somebody and go change and go hide somewhere else. But I will literally just go chase them around to where they can't even find me, because sometimes you can be so small. Like if you're a stop sign, you're really skinny, and it's almost impossible to shoot you. Like I've chased around a little red pail for probably 10 minutes in a match, man, and like yelling like, yo, let's get this red pail. And like, it's impossible to hit because it's so small, and just, you're not going to hit it.
Backfire on you too, though, because the change is random. So you have so many changes, but you can go from a red pail to a fucking dumpster.
Oh yeah. And I mean, a dumpster's hard to hide. I mean, there's maybe like 8 on that bog map, and I'm like, everybody's going to shoot a dumpster, but like I've seen people being a tire and hiding in a tire pit. And I'm like, you're just going to go up there and you're going to spray all these tires. And if you see like a hit marker, you can be like, all right, I'm going to keep going. But like I've seen some people, I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, and I'm mad at myself and probably mad at everybody else in the team because we could have won it all because somebody didn't shoot one tire.
I think the funniest moment of prop game for me is the first night we played it, and all I hear all of a sudden is, who the fuck's driving down the road in a broken ass car? And then I just hear you just cackling.
I mean, like, when we started off, I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm this. And I'm just like, I thought I was locked position. I'm starting moving. I'm like, all right, I better keep on moving. You know, that's the way Sean plays, just reckless.
Yeah, it was a good thing. Like, it was something I don't know that I've ever seen in another game. Like, it's a mode I really like though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But one thing I kind of noticed about this game, and it's the way they did Black Ops. Like, back on the PSN network, Black Ops 3 was a free game right before they started talking about Black Ops 4. So I wonder if this is like a kind of little hint saying, hey, you might actually get that Modern Warfare 4 that you've been crying about for years. Because,
dope.
oh, I'd love it because, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Black Ops 4. I mean, I know like they came late into the whole Battle Royale thing. And honestly, Battle Royale and first person, I don't dig it. And that throws me back to where back in like PlayStation 2 days, when SOCOM came out and you were able to play that online, that was my jam.
Oh,
and I fell in love with third party games. And I mean third person view for those games. And like, man, SOCOM, I mean, we had, you had headsets back then, you were on the PlayStation, you were playing online, and like that was amazing, And we kind of cheated back then. We all had Nextel phones, so when somebody died, you could still see your map, and we would just get on our Nextel and be like, hey man, he's over there by the tower,
Oh, dude, I can one up you on that. So we were on SOCOM 2 hard, like every night, because that was right after I graduated. So that would have been SOCOM 2 would have been 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. But we would go to my cousin's house, and it was myself, my brother, my buddy James, and then my cousin Casey, and we had 4 PlayStation 2s, 4 TVs, all hooked up, and we would always make sure we were in the same clan on the same team, and we were screen peeking. I mean, somebody died, we're telling everybody where the other one's at.
But I mean,
you talk about LAN party, we were side by side by side by side.
Oh yeah, and I can only imagine how bad y'all's lag was back then, knowing the internet was like only so fast, like maybe like I don't even know what the internet speeds were back then, but like having that many people on a PlayStation, like taking it up, I mean, y'all had to have been like glitching across the screen, like.
And we used all the cheats and stuff. Can you remember the ladder slide where you would slide down the ladder and turn around and put your back to the ladder and then hit the button and you'd crawl underneath the map?
Oh yeah, I think you could do that on Crossroads. You could get underneath like a staircase and just shoot people from like the whole map, and you're just like, "Who the fuck is this?" And you're like, "Somebody's glitching. Get in there."
I'm getting shot from underneath the map.
Yeah, I mean, but that game, like, that started up, the love. So like when Call of Duty and this came out, like I was just like, "Oh, you're bringing a whole warmth back to me." But like it was first person, and I was like, "I'm okay. I can deal with it." But like I said, when Black Ops 4 tried to pull the whole battle royale, I was off in the whole PUBG, the PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds thing, and I probably put hundreds of hours into that game because that was like the new SOCOM to me, just with 100 people surviving in a match.
I can't get into the battle royals. Like I tried to get into the Apex, and it aggravates me to no end because I run around and collect all the stuff, and then I get shot and die.
Well, with that game, if you don't have a helmet, if you don't get a helmet and armor immediately, and somebody else shoots you, you're dead. Right off the bat.
Fortnite, like I can't build fast enough. Like I run up on somebody and I start shooting them, and they're like staircase, wall, and I'm like, what the hell just happened?
I probably played 10, 15 matches and maybe got one kill all of them, and after that, it was literally deleted from my hard drive on that game.
Yeah, I hope that they go back to Modern Warfare and they don't stick with the Black Ops, because I think the Battle Royale thing's it's gotten to be a fad at this point. Like,
I blame it all on Fortnite.
Yeah, pretty much. Damn you. Get off my lawn.
Pretty much. I mean, that's the new age for a lot of these gamers is Fortnite. I mean, congratulations. Y'all did it good, but got to go old school. I need, back then, I don't even know if these kids could survive in like a online chat room back then. We used to talk.
We would have destroyed somebody.
Oh yeah. If you weren't crying by the end of a match, I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
That's talking about making people cry and like LAN parties and stuff. Like that's one of the things I enjoy with gun game. Like when we do like a private match in our little group, like and have just us playing, like that's one of the few times like where I actually get like nervous and start sweating, and I'm like, okay, gotta get a kill, I'm immediately getting into it, like to the point like I want to make sure that I'm doing good. I'm not when we play deathmatch, like team deathmatch and stuff. I don't want to say I'm not trying, but it's not the same competitiveness. I can't say that fucking word.
Competitiveness.
Yeah, that word. It's not the same. I mean, as gun game, and it's probably because I'm playing against people I know versus somebody that I have no idea who it is, but. Like, there was one night we were playing, and it may have been the same night that Mitchell broke his controller. But, like, I remember getting done, and, like, me or Sean Muldoning won, and I was like, he beat me by 1 kill, I think. And I was like, fuck, I'm over here sweating and shit.
Oh man. See, like there was a game, I can't remember who I played with, but like it was a gun game, and I got so pissed. I was like, after this game, I'm off. Like, I cannot play this game for 24 hours. Like, I got stuck on some gun that got me so irate. And then I'd pass by it, and I got a taste of my own medicine. Somebody would come by and knife me. And, like, it happened over and over that match, and it was early on, and I was done, dude. I don't think I got past level 1. Maybe, like, I think sniper rifle was the very first gun, and, like, after that, I was over with. So, I have revealed my weakness on air, so if you ever want to go one-on-one and we're sniper rifles, just literally, I might as well just turn off the console.
I mean, overall, like I said, to me, it's one of those, like, when I saw that it was up for free, I immediately knew I was going to download it, if anything, to just play campaign over again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't like free? I mean, I'm not going to delete it. I mean, that will stay on my hard drive, like, unless, like, some stupid game's like, oh, you're going to have to use 100 gigs. Like, either I'm replace my hard drive and get a bigger one, but like I'm gonna keep this like on that hard drive for a very long time, because it's gonna be a fun one to like constantly play up. And especially since I know I have friends that are willing to play it, like, and not have to play against some randoms all over the internet that might get like slayed of gone. Like, I'm gonna be like, hey man, I'm gonna kick your ass today. Let's go play some Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's fun. It's one of the few, like, I think the only other multiplayer shooter, like, newer gen that I could get into, like I could with Call of Duty, would be one of the Halo games. Like, just like I said, I hate these battle royale games. I hate that that's what everybody's going to.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the new age for it. I mean, but that's the thing of also, I mean, it brings a very big competitive edge to the game too. I mean, you've got literally 100 people in a match going. Boy, but I mean, Halo, yeah, that's a fun one. I mean, I haven't played a lot of the latest ones. Like, I used to play Halo with my little brother, and we would co-op it and like beat the whole game, in one sitting, and that was like the joy of those games for me. Halo Online, I wasn't into that. That was during my SOCOM times. Like, Halo did not exist for me at all.
Halo 2 or 3, I think, was where I really hit my peak and was really into it.
I guess I was still on that PlayStation fanboy side. Like I said, like the Xbox, the original Xbox, the only one I ever owned was like even at the end of the 360s era, where it was like a modded one with all the types of emulators and stuff. And I was like, this is a cool machine. And I got it for cheap from somebody because, that console's over and done with. But, that's actually still a popular console to some people in the modding community itself. And 360, when it came out, like I said, if I wasn't playing burn games on it, it wasn't getting played for me. But... And I got an Xbox One Black Friday a couple years back because it was like a ridiculously good deal. And that literally became my PUBG machine. Like, that's all it was for, was playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, like every day after work.
Yeah, I've got mine, but it hasn't been turned on in months. Like when Gears comes back out, it'll get turned back on. But until then, I'm good.
Pull off that film of dust off that fan, probably.
Yeah. So do you have any more thoughts on Modern Warfare?
Man, not really, man. I just know, like, it was good to feel like I went in the past and got to play a game that I haven't played in forever. Like, it was almost forgotten, but I always knew it was there. Like, even when it re-released a couple years back, the remastered, like I knew it was there. I'm like, it's not, you know, far within arm's reach. I knew I could always go back to it. But like, honestly, to me at that time, the popularity had passed because I think they came out with like one of the Advanced Warfares or something like that. And so that game, you know, took a lot of the interest away from that. But like when this came out for free, like I had no choice. I mean, who doesn't like free, you know? Just download it. If you don't like it, just delete it. It didn't cost you a single dime. You know what I mean? It's free.
So we want to get into our rating system, and you want to explain the rating system that we've come up with on how we're going to do our topics.
So our rating system is actually going to be like, if you were to collect this, if this game was going in your collection, where would you put it? Would you put it in your top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf, or are you putting this like in a collector's case? Is this so high to you, so close to your heart that it's going like in your top 10, or, you know, depending, it's going to be more than top 10 one day. I mean, but you got to be selective with that. But like, so Micah, if you were to keep this game and you had it like in the case, disc and case, everything, which shelf are you going to put this game on and why?
For me, it's going to go top shelf. I mean, just purely based off nostalgia and being able to jump back into it. You know, the fun that I've had with it in the past month, and then thinking about the fun that I had with it, you know, when it first released, it's easily a game that I could turn around and, you know, forget about for hell. It come out in what, 2007, 2008, I believe. Yeah. So you're talking 10 years, 11 years. Like that's easily another game that I could pick back up and play again next console generation and have just as much fun with it in theory. So it's easily a top shelf for me. What about you?
Man, I'm right in the same boat with you. I mean, it's a top shelfer. Like I, you know, talked about, like this is a very memorable Call of Duty. Like when people say Call of Duty, like the words Modern Warfare come to mind before anything else. Like you had some of the older versions where they were way back in the day style, and that showed no interest to me. Like all those iron sights, like this was like going back to even when I talked about SOCOM, like this even is this like counterpart to like being in the first person. But this game, playing it with y'all, like brought us closer. Like I know a lot of y'all, I've only, you know, in our little group of friends, I've only met recently, and that was like at Tad Bonk Prom, you know, other than being internet buddies, which is good. But like, unless you get that face to face, you know, it's not there. And then meeting everybody and then get to play with everybody online like that. Like I was like, man, like we're closer, you know, we're tighter knit. So this even holds like even more special, you know, side to my heart. So yeah, definitely top shelf game for me.
For sure. Like I don't see any way that it wouldn't be. Like I don't see how anybody wouldn't want to put it on top shelf. Unless they're just a battle royal noob.
I mean, you got some people that, you know, straight up hate Call of Duty. Like there's some people like, you know, forget that game. It's not my style. You know, I want to play, you know, RPGs or, you know, whatever else all day long, you know, they're all into fighting games, but everybody has their niche. I'm like, I like all types of different games. And like I said, this Call of Duty hands down is my favorite, probably always will be my favorite out of the whole series.
For sure. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is From the Top Rope with Micah.
So From the Top Rope, this is going to be a segment that I want to try to hit on every other week. Just kind of dip into wrestling. It's not going to be super deep dive just because there's so much wrestling media to consume. But I've been a huge wrestling nerd since the Attitude Era. Really, I know you don't watch a whole lot.
But I growing up in Memphis. That's a big staple for wrestling way back then. And so growing up, even my middle name's Michael. So Shawn Michaels was around. And so I had, this was my favorite wrestler, the Heartbreak Kid. You know, he was a very big person, you know, back then. I mean, small build, but, you know, big person in the community. And so my name being Shawn Michael, like, dude, Shawn Michaels was my guy. Of course, I loved a lot of other wrestlers back then, but I think touching base with you now that we've got this segment, like, my heart's back into wrestling. Like, we even watched WrestleMania the other day. Was it 35? And it was on Facebook. Some poor schmuck was like, I'm gonna jeopardize my account and broadcast the whole WrestleMania. And so I was like, dude, I was like, thank you. I'm gonna start a watch party on Facebook. And I didn't even intend for it to happen, but I think we only had like 150 likes. And that was really just us spamming out our friends list and saying, hey, we started up this podcast, please like our page, get the word out. And we went from like 150 something likes to like 430 likes in one night. And I was overwhelmed with all that went down. But just that,
dude.
Hey, yeah, that was saying, hey, Sean, you never forgot wrestling. It's always been in your blood.
Maybe you should come back to it. I mean, it's one of those things like, you'll still get made fun of. I still get made fun of for watching it. And I'm like, at this point, like, yes, I know it's fake. God, if I had $1 for every time somebody's like, that's fake, right? Yeah, it's a male soap opera. It's fake. The storylines are fake. Everything's set up, but like the action, like the moves that the people do, like, I don't know how many of our listeners have ever been in a wrestling ring. Like, my brother did independent wrestling for a little bit, and like, so I've been in wrestling rings, like authentic wrestling rings, and like, it's not fun to take a bump. Like, it doesn't feel good at all. Like, you're hitting the ground on plywood. Like, yeah, I mean, a give to it, but you're hitting plywood.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't care. You're getting thrown down on. Was there a little bit of padding on the ring? But I mean,
not much.
Yeah, I mean, if you fall down on anything other than a trampoline, it's gonna hurt, and that's not a trampoline. Back when I worked at that nightclub way back in the early 2000s, on teen night, on one side they used to have some local wrestling there, and I met a lot of the guys there. I can't remember them. There were some midget wrestlings that were really cool. Those dudes were very wild and eccentric. But I mean, everybody in wrestling has to be that way. That's just, you have your persona, you have the person you're playing. And I used to I went up to the ring a couple times. I never got in it, but I knew it's just going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a 10 garbage can, but you throw a 10 garbage can, it's still going to hurt.
I still think, like, I have back problems to this day, and I still think it's because we used to, we would wrestle on the trampoline and throw each other off of it onto the damn ground. At that point, we didn't care. We didn't know any better. And I still think to this day, that's part of the reason why my back's jacked up, is from, jumping off of a trampoline onto the ground. Like, it looked cool on camera, but it doesn't feel so good now.
Well, that's usually why a lot of things says, do not try this at home.
Yeah. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
I couldn't read back then. I just saw what they were doing on the television, and I just did exactly what they did.
I'm from Kentucky. I don't read well.
Words, what it is.
So you touched on a little bit. WrestleMania was a week ago today. So a lot of the storylines for WWE are about to be reset. The next 2 nights, I'm dating when we record this, but the next 2 nights are what they call the Superstar Shakeup. So they move people around and change people from one show to the other, and that basically try to keep the storylines fresh. Have different people to be able to go against different characters. They've got some really, really hot characters right now, just coming off of WrestleMania because of the storyline with Becky Lynch, where she finally beat Ronda Rousey. So she's got her 2 belts right now. Seth Rollins finally beat Brock Lesnar, so that's a really hot angle. And then, of course, Kofi Kingston, which took over WrestleMania. He's a guy who's been around for 11 plus years, and they finally won the title. And they've got some hot and interesting angles to go into the Superstar Shakeup. But I mean, you think about it from a TV perspective, they don't take breaks. They don't have off seasons. They don't have, we were talking about shows earlier and shows ending and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't stop. Like, their storylines go on every week of the year.
Yeah, that's just wild. Now that fight that had Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, I saw where like Ronda Rousey, she like broke her hand really bad or something in that match too.
Mm-hmm. So she broke her hand, and then there was some controversy when the referees, and one of the things that I like to listen to is This guy's name's Sean Rosted. He does Fightful Select. And so he puts out a podcast where he talks about like the day after, or pretty much immediately after a show goes off, and he gets on there and talks about, but the referees that are trained by WWE are trained to count the match as a shoot. Like, and a shoot means like that it's legit. So the referee at the end of that match, there was some controversy because the referee counted it like she was being pinned, but her shoulder come up. So that was supposed to be the finish of the match, was she was supposed to get pinned and lose the titles, but her shoulder come up, but then he still counted to 3. So it kind of broke what they were supposed to do. Like, because then they started talking about how her shoulder come up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, that stuff's live though. I mean, shit changes on the fly too. I mean, I know it wasn't supposed to happen that way, but I mean, hey, every once in a while you got to throw it in a little mulligan.
Yeah, and I've seen, that's one of the things, like, with saying that they've been trained to do that. Like, they've had situations where people have like not kicked out in time. Like, and if you ever watch it, like, I've watched some of the behind the scenes stuff and some of the training videos and stuff like that. Like, a referee always will count. Like, so if you're laying on the ground, if you're the person that's down on the ground and you're getting pinned on your left side, the referee will make sure that they go around to the right side of your body and count as close to that ear as possible so that you can hear it in case there's crowd noise or anything else going on.
Gotcha.
There's been situations where people have forgotten to kick out or haven't kicked out in time, and they have to do audibles. Like you said, it's live. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to think, you get exhausted. Like, you can only kick your body up so many times. Like, if you don't believe me, go lay on the ground and kick your body up right now. It's not that easy as it looks, you know? And like, I understand these people are athletes, no matter how you want to say it. They do work out. They do keep healthy regimens, unless you're like some of the bigger players. Like back in the day, like Yokozuna. That dude was huge. I know there's some big wrestlers now, but I'm like, they still run around a ring. Like, you give somebody comparable to that size, like, go walk around Walmart and tell that big old mama to go run around like that. She ain't gonna make it. I mean, like I said, no matter what, these people are athletes. One thing I enjoyed was like John Cena coming in as the doctor of thugonomics. Like, I haven't seen that in years, and I was like, that's a good throwback. The dude's way too old to be doing it now, but like, I enjoyed it. I mean, like, I related to that. I was like, dude, I haven't seen that in ages, you know, like back in the Rock era.
No, and it gets some good cheap pop. Like, it gets good energy. It's kind of like at the beginning of the show, they brought out Hulk Hogan. Like, that's always going to get everybody excited just because it's Hulk Hogan. I mean, you know who Hulk Hogan is. And in 20 years, whenever they do the same thing for, you know, John Cena or a Triple H or somebody like that, like, it's still going to get people excited because of who it is. Like, it's one of those things that we've invested as much time as we have, and a lot of that investment for me goes into like their video packages. So one of the best things for me, like I said, I'm big into the storylines. Like, I like reading, going through and reading, they call them the dirt sheets. So like the internet websites and stuff like that, and everybody trying to predict what's happening and everything. But the video packages that the WWE puts together are some of the best as far as like recapping the story and what's going on and like getting you hyped. Like, I can remember back in like 2005, 2006, somewhere in there, like, they would put out like a video about Edge is making his comeback, and it's got the songs playing in the background, and you're like, man, this Saliva song is awesome, or whatever
Up, man.
It gets you hype. So WrestleMania weekend, one of the big storylines coming out of that too was the Hall of Fame. They do their Hall of Fame induction ceremony every year, and they choose superstars to go into their Hall of Fame. It's typically people who are retired or who aren't there anymore. But one of the big storylines was the guy who attacked Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame. Like, dude jumped the barrier, slid into the ring and tackled him, and they tried to cut the feed. But of course, with social media and everything the way it is now, like, the videos that come out, that dude got his ass kicked. He should have. I mean, don't get me wrong. He deserved everything he got.
I thought it was funny though that the Simpsons had kind of predicted something like that way years ago, like they have with some other things with the little Rastafarian style hat that dude was wearing. I was like, dude, again, the Simpsons, are they 3 for 3 right now?
I wonder how much he thought he put into that. Like if he pulled that from them.
He had to have. I mean, you know, walking into that, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna go up and attack Bret Hart. I'm gonna tackle him. You know, I'm gonna be on TV, just like that person that wants to streak at a soccer game or whatever. And like somebody said, dude, you got to do it like on The Simpsons, you know. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
I guess the only other big thing that I want to touch on before we get out of this segment is with AEW. So that's going to be All Elite Wrestling. It's another promotion that's coming up that's got a lot of hype behind it. But the news came out this week that they were being pitched to possibly be on TBS or TNT. So that'll be another major show to watch. A lot like Impact Wrestling's still out there, but it's on one of those channels I don't get. Ring of Honor's still out there, but it's on a channel I don't get. So I don't consume a lot of that. But AEW, I mean, if they're on TBS or TNT, that's going to get a lot of eyeballs on them. So that'll be something to, you know, if you do get back into watching it a lot, that'll be something to watch.
Oh, for sure, man. Because I want to give more input on this. Like the more you talk, like I said, you know, even about like stuff we talked about in the water cooler about those shows, like it's bringing my interest levels back up. Like I need new stuff to like, you know, break that boredom into. So like I've always loved wrestling. I just may have got put on the back burner for a little bit.
Yeah, and if you guys and girls, you know, if you've got something that you have a suggestion to watch, I guess we could have mentioned that earlier. Like, let us know. You know, hit us up. You know, hey, there's a show on TV, or hey, there's this movie, or hey, you know, I don't like this wrestling promotion. You should check it out and let us know. We'll try to dig into it for sure. But yeah, man, like I said, the AEW stuff, it reminds me a whole lot of WCW when WCW first launched, just because they're going for a Turner network. They've signed some of the older talent, but they're pulling a lot of young talent. I mean, they've got Jericho. Jericho jumped ship and he's with them now. So that's a huge get. Cody Rhodes is one of the main superstars over there. He is Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and it's his son. He's brothers with the guy who played Goldust back in the day.
That's funny. I was just thinking that. I remember that because the whole Goldust. And that character, you just like make me uncomfortable as like if that person walked up next to me, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, that means he's doing his job good. But
oh yeah, for sure.
It's going to be pretty big, so I'm looking forward to see what they bring to the table. But yeah, I mean, if it gets you back into wrestling, I'm all for it. The more people that watch it, the better, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a huge community. I know some of our friends recently went up to WrestleMania, and I was like, man, that's it's convenient because a lot of them lived close up to there. I know one of our closer friends traveled up there, but like I've gone to a couple live wrestling events. Even in the last year, I went back in Memphis. They had a Raw that I went to, but like to me, I like those live events. But like if I don't hear the announcers, I don't get that feel yet. I mean, unless you're like ringside, to me, like that's the only way to really watch it.
And they've started talking about that's some of the technology that they're proposing going forward. So NXT is like WWE's developmental. We didn't even mention their show that they had before WrestleMania. But one of the things that they're testing out, they record all of their shows at Full Sail University in Florida. It's like one of the cutting edge like technology schools in the United States. And they're testing out live announcer broadcasting to where like the people in the audience can wear headsets and they can hear the announcers commentating while they're sitting there watching. So that'll be kind of cool to see if that comes to fruition, if that goes wide scale or not.
That's going to be a lot of headsets. I mean, it almost feels like you're going to go to a drive-in movie theater and tune into the station.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, you think about like whenever we went to New York last year and went to the 9/11 memorial, like that's how they do the tours is they give you a headset and just pop it on, plug in, and they've got it all set up on certain channels to where you listen to the dude talk and he could be, you know, on the other side of the building, but you can still hear him. So
that's cool. That's cool. It's almost automated, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but I agree. Yeah. I like listening to the announcers too. it's a little
It just
weird going to a live event and not being able to hear them.
Oh yeah, I mean it just brings more to the table and kind of like brings more suspense up and everything, like all the oohs, ahs, and everything else. Like that brings more excitement level to me as a watcher than just like hearing people like slamming down on the mat and and hearing the small stuff. Like
Yeah.
I need all the bells and whistles.
I've never really considered, like, I don't know why they don't broadcast it over the speakers in the arena. I'm sure there's some reason for it, but
Probably feedback maybe or something like that.
could be. But yeah, we're running a little bit longer than we talked about for our first episode. So you want to start wrapping this baby up?
Yeah, man, we can. I'm glad y'all have stuck around this long to hear this. I really hope y'all have enjoyed this episode. I know it's our first one. There's probably some bumps, here and there, some scratches. I don't know. We're kind of working out the kinks, but hopefully this is the format that y'all like to listen to. Hopefully our audio quality has been up to par. Like I said, it is our first episode. We did have a little bit of issues even recording this at first, and hopefully it gets better from there. I'm glad y'all stuck around for all of it. We don't even have anything picked out for our next episode, and we're shooting for twice a month, every 2 weeks to record and, bring some good content out for y'all. Micah, do you want to put it up on Facebook, and it's like a open poll, or just ask questions, or do you just want to brainstorm between here and there and figure out what our next episode is going to be about? And even since this one was a game, would you want to do like movie, television, something like that?
Yeah, I think we can rotate. I think that would be the easiest, to just kind of rotate through stuff, so we don't stay like super specific to any one genre. But
Yeah,
I'm open to suggestions too. So if anybody wants to send anything our way, just put it on the episode post. When this episode drops, we'll put a post up, and if you have a comment or a suggestion or something for what we should cover next, drop it on there, and we'll definitely take it into consideration. Of course, depends on time and all that good stuff. We want to make sure that we consume it and give it its fair shake. I don't want to get into anything to where I have to rush through it, or just watch a video online of something that I'm not able to give it its fair deal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if either one of you if you or I have to go to YouTube or something like that to learn about what we're talking about, we shouldn't even talk about it. Like, I want to be invested in it. Like, sometimes I stream stuff online. I do have another Facebook page called Smoked Out Gaming. But honestly, I might move a lot of that streaming over to our digital cartridge page. It just depends on what I get more interactions on. I'd love to be able, if I can merge the two, I would. But if it was a game and I'm able to stream it and I own it, and I'd love to play it, let y'all see how bad I fucking suck at it.
So yeah, you guys, like Sean said, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. You want to keep up with us, you can always find us. We're at digitalcartridgepodcast.com. That's going to redirect. I think right now you said it redirects just to the Facebook page.
Yeah, and I'm currently going to move that right over to I have what we call Podbean, is what we're hosting our podcast off of right now. It'll eventually move up to like iTunes and places like that, but first episode in, you got to get approval status, so that's going to might take a couple days or maybe even a week, so right now, like if you go to our website digitalcartridgepodcast.com, I'm going to have it linked over to our Podbean, so it's going to directly go there.
Yeah, so, and of course all the episodes will be on that Podbean site. It's what, digitalcartridgepodcast.podbean.com, is that right?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. Facebook, you can get at us. It's just at Digital Cartridge Podcast. Like I said, we're going to have the Battle Mania poll that'll launch probably the day after this episode drops. So definitely get on there, vote for that. Let us know what you think of the songs. If you have any song suggestions, hey, check this out. Maybe it's something we can consider down the road, that if it's a song we like, maybe we'll throw up. So check that out. Get on there. Let us know, how you like the episode. You can also find us on Instagram. It's digital_cartridge. I know Sean's been posting some stuff on there, so we'll try to do, we're going to try to do episode announcements on there too. That way everybody in all forms of media know when our stuff comes out.
Yeah, send out those likes and follows.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like Sean said earlier, every like that we get, it makes us giddy. You know, when we had that WrestleMania stream going and we were just getting likes left and right, we were both just texting back and forth. Oh my God, we're at this number now. Oh my God, we're at this number now. Oh my God, we're at this number now. So, you know, if you want to make two semi-old dudes giddy, give us a like. It would help us out. If you want to call us, Sean's got us a phone number set up. You can call us, leave us a voicemail. I think the format that we've decided for our voicemails, if we have those, unless we get swamped with a bunch and have some mini episodes, those are going to be our stinger. So make sure you stick around. If you call, you leave us a voicemail, stick around after the song plays out and listen to us reply to your voicemail. Listen to us, listen to it in real time, and then reply to your voicemail. If you have a question, we'll answer it the best we can. If it's a sex question, that's even better. Unless you're my mom listening to this, and then don't ask me that. But that number is 470-DIGITAL. That's 470-344-4825. And then, like Sean said, we're going to be on iTunes. We're going to be on Stitcher. We're going to be on Google Play. We just got to get their approvals in place. So bear with us for that. It's coming. You'll be able to add us to your feeds. And then when those new episodes drop, you'll get notifications.
And if there's another form of media that you listen to podcast on, let me know. I'll try to make it happen. And if I don't make it happen, yell at me and I'll make it happen again.
So, yeah.
Man, that's a wrap. You want to call it a wrap? So we're going to roll that beautiful bean footage.
Let's let our music just play us out. Roll the... What's a good, now instead of roll that beautiful bean footage, roll that beautiful outro music?
I don't know. We'll figure out a catchy little line in it all soon.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. But thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. And like I said, stick around. We got more shit coming. We hope you enjoy it.
Hope you had fun. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye. So I think we're okay.
Yeah, so I mean, cross our fingers and like I'm a lucky rabbit's foot, over here on the side. Alrighty, so do you want to start this up? You want to do it?
I kind of want to listen to the music.
You want to listen? We can't listen to music right now. I don't want to get busted for copyright.
No, our intro music. Like I want to get in that mood.
Oh, you want me to play it?
I want to get in that mood.
Let me see if I can play it. Stand by. Hold on.
I'm gonna fuck everything up now.
Oh, you probably will. It's all good. I mean, what else are you good for?